Hello, and today's project is a traveller's style notebook for scrapbookers. First of all, you'll need to gather some papers. Your finished project will be a project size of 210 by 105 millimeters. This is basically the width of an A4, squared and folded. We'll start off with our watercolour paper. You'll need 2 sheets of 14 by 11. Both sheets will be trimmed so that they have a height of 210 millimeters. This is so that they'll match the other A4 pages. The original sheet in this case was 14 by 11 inches, so you end up with a strip at the top that you'll cut off. Set that to one side for later on. Right, to make the pocket, you'll first need to score your paper at 105, 210. I've also done a double score line to allow for a bit of capacity in mine, and at 315. This will then fold inwards on the first fold, outwards on the second and third, and outwards on the last one. This flap will then be scored down and secured to the back. That's giving us our pocket. To make your pocket, you will need to adhere it first of all with some foam tape along this bottom edge, and then you will need to use some double-sided adhesive along this flap here. I've already done the foam tape along here, so turn it round. Make our pocket a little neater, we're going to snip off on the corner of the flaps here and here at an angle. This will then fold inwards, so we're going to start by removing a section of our backing tape. Tucking that down and scoring the rest of it. And then remove the backing on our shorter piece of foam tape. And off our double-sided, and fold it to the outside of the fold. We'll then take our pocket and bring it over so that our fold is sticking up vertically. And stick it down. Peel off the bottom tape. Peel off our side tape. This gives us a pocket for any documents. This will then form our inside cover. We can then start to stack our pages. So with the printed pages, what you want to do is you'll fold your first page so the pattern faces outwards, and your second piece of pattern paper so the pattern faces inwards. This means that when you put the two pieces of paper together, you'll end up with two pattern sides facing each other. I recommend doing it this way also if you're using scrapbook paper, so you end up with two squares of the same pattern, one folded inwards, one folded outwards. With the plain pieces, you can just fold these and it doesn't really matter which way you go. So I'm starting with a layout piece. And another layout piece. I'm going to put in one of our plain inkjet papers. Then our two pattern pages. So pattern facing inwards. Another plain piece of paper. Another two layout papers. And finally, our last plain piece of paper. You could always finish this off with a feature paper if you are already know what theme you want to go with, or you could even insert some new pieces as you go if you choose to use the elastic binding. When you fold all our pages together, you will get creep, as it's known, from your spine. This is perfectly acceptable, and we can just trim it up when the actual spine is finished. At this point, you can either choose to stitch your binding or to staple it. I've chosen to staple mine. For this task, I'll be using a long reach stapler. Now mine has markings along its side so that we can set a guideline for it to work up to. So in this case, we have a little handy A5 noted, which will be 105mm. Now, your pocket is going to be at the back of your book. So you want to place your staple as close to this join here as possible. And we just want to place one in the middle just to hold it in place for now. Give your signature a good tap. Make sure your score lines all line up and that it's sitting correctly into that fold. Slide it into your main guide. the alignment. If you need to wiggle it a little, you can do. Okay, that gives us our one stitch in the middle. Fold the book over and give a good press on the spine. At this point I recommend using a bone folder to get as much crease into this fold as possible. The crisper this fold is, the better it will be when it's finished. Next we need to make our cover, and to do this we'll be using some Bristol board. This is nice thick card. It has a lovely smooth surface for if we wish to draw a design on the cover. You may prefer to use some cheaper thick card or the 480 that we use in our usual projects. Especially if you decide that you're going to cover it in a matching pattern paper. To do this, you will need to mark your spine width onto your Bristol board or whatever you choose for your cover. Start by taking your completed text block and lining it up to the left hand short edge of your card. You then want to mark your spine. You're then going to take this line for the left hand side of your spine, and you want to allow a little bit of room for expansion. And again, mark your line. It doesn't matter if that line isn't exactly vertical. And again, line it up. Mark down the edge. This then gives you your completed cover. Start by trimming off the excess. Keep that for another project. And I'm using a score board, but you could use any other make a scoring board. Line up with your groove, score it down, and that gives you your vertical fold. Move it across, and roughly I've done it so it lines up down here, which is actually more than it needs up there, which is what we need to do. And score. This will then become the inside of our cover. Fold your mountains inwards, and using a bone folder, crease your score line firmly. And again on the other side. Line it up, score it down. Now that we've completed our cover, we can now place our spine into the rear fold. So if you look at the two, the rear fold of the cover goes around our text block, so that when the cover comes back we have a gap. This will keep the edge looking a lot neater. Again, using our long reach stapler with our guide, take it through, take it up to one end, and you want to aim to get it actually on the score line. And again. If you wish, you can then remove your centre stitch and fold it both ways. And score. And there's the start of our traveller's notebook. Now to decorate. I've started to decorate my inside pages with some washi tape. I've chosen several tapes from the same collection, and these are from Paper Chase. On the layout pages I've only gone for small bits of washi because of the difference between the weight of the washi and the weight of the paper. Layout paper is very thin, but it's good for markers. Where I've got a wider washi tape, I've actually wrapped it around the edge. This gives a lovely feel to the page. On the textured pages I've enhanced the layout using just a bit of washi tape and then remove the headers down the sides. However, as this paper is quite transparent, I've not put anything on the reverse. You could use your washi tape in a number of directions on your page. On the pages where you have inkjet paper, it's actually solid enough to then do a different direction on your next page, or different tape. By preparing our book this way, we don't have to carry so much with us when we're actually out and about travelling. Carry so on and so forth for the rest of your book. Our next step is to make some photo insert cards. These will be used for where we have our instant cameras such as a Fuji or Polaroid camera. So let's get started with those. I'm using some coordinating papers that match up our washi. And I would advise you to do the same. This just keeps everything looking consistent. I'm taking my photo mat sizes based on the actual design, but you could actually measure your particular photos or use 3x4 cards instead. Also cut out a pattern piece from one of the other papers. You could always print off some map pieces for where you're travelling to. You may find you're left over with some thin strips like these, at which point you can use them to decorate the pages again. can then put these into our pocket. Finally our strips. Now what we need to do is design our cover. To design our cover, I've pulled out a few things. For starters, some matching paper that matches our washi tape. And then I've pulled out 3 project life cards, one of which will go on the cover and the other 2 will be slotted inside for decoration. I've also managed to pull out some little envelopes. These are project lifestyle size envelopes. So those will be stuck inside our cover to save ephemera until we're ready to stick it in. So one inside front. And another one to go inside back. The cover really depends on whether you know that your book is for one trip or if you're basically going to scrapbook your entire summer. For me, it'll probably be my entire summer, so I think Blue Skies Are Here Again is actually quite appropriate, as for once we're actually having quite a nice summer in the UK. Now it's simply a matter of working out how we want to actually lay out our items on the page. I'm going to begin by fuzzy cutting our project life card. Now as it's blue skies, I think we need to make sure we include a bit of our cloud. And we're going to actually make a cloud shaped design. Now we don't want to cut out too much of our blue sky, otherwise it doesn't make any sense. So, just want to trim off that edge. Don't want to take it too close to our letters. So I'm probably going to take it to about there, so we're about 1 centimetre from the bottom for our first bit of card. Okay, so we've peeled off our backing tape. Go and brush to the edge. And we're leaving that centimetre at the bottom. And press down. Do the same with your blue skies. Other things you could do is turn some of these actually into pockets for your cover, so that you can stick in tickets and room keys and things like that. And lining up the arrow with blue sky. There we go. And finally, we can decorate with some washi that matches. This helps to tidy up anything you haven't quite got aligned correctly. could also use it to link in your actual paper when you want to. And finally I'm going to use a piece of washi tape that actually matches the paper. This would be a good place to put a sticker with the actual title of your journey. And there you have it, the places for a holiday journal. As you can see, I've gone through and continued to decorate all the pages. There you go.